All set? Yeah. Call the meeting to order. First on the agenda is pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Seeing presentations listed, no public hearings, any adjustments to the agenda? None. Citizens' comments? Seeing none. Select board comments? Bob?
Wow, I thought we were gonna have a citizen's comment, but I guess we didn't, so.
Become more citizens.
It's not like,
Yes.
okay,
So you,
yeah, I would like to,
why don't you come right up to the front row?
okay, right here.
No, right in front of the
Oh.
lectern.
So my name is Deidre Degnan Murray, and I'm a resident of Waldoboro. I've lived here for 3 years, and I live on Friendship Road. And I was actually one of the people who was interested in the proposed redevelopment of the Friendship Street School in the apartments. I was interested as a potential buyer in one of those units. So I was a proponent of the RFP process that you guys did, and had worked a little bit with Ron Phillips while he was developing the proposal. And like I said, I was interested in purchasing an apartment. And I understand that there was a lot of pushback about the RFP process and about how it was handled. And because again, there was just one proposal submitted to the RFP, and it was from Ron Phillips. And there began to be some public pushback, like I was saying, about how the situation was being handled. And then recently, the select board listed the Friendship Street School on the multiple listing service, listed it for sale. So understand that this is another direction we could certainly go in terms of selling the property, which the town does not want to hold on to. And again, there's been pushback about how the sale has been handled. I think through, and the pushback I'm seeing is primarily in social media, on Facebook in particular, in the 3 town groups, Elevate Waldoboro, Enhancing Waldoboro, and What's New Waldoboro. And what it does appear is that the public actually hasn't had any say in the disposition of the Friendship Street School. And I think perhaps the select board has underestimated public sentiment around that building. Some people feel very attached, having gone to school there or having had their children go to school there. And that there's this sentimental attachment to the building, and they want to see something good come of it, and either the building be preserved. I know a big topic has been access to the river there behind the school. And I do understand it's a steep embankment. The feeling is that, you know, having that versus not having it would be desirable. So I suppose what I'm asking is for the select board to please consider opening this issue up to the public and engaging with the public as to what the desire is in terms of the Friendship Street School, whether we want to work with the developer who had proposed a $1.4 million redevelopment using historic tax credits, which would protect the school right down to the chalkboards, or whether, again, an open market sale makes sense. I personally have some concerns around the open market sale, in that it appears the estimate that was used to list on the MLS was low, and that there have been multiple offers well above asking price. And so an option would be to have a round of best and final offers, since there are multiple above asking price offers, and I understand some of the offers are very close to one another. And so if we were to pursue an open market sale, we could maximize the value of the sale by going out for best and final offers. So there's a lot to consider. And again, it just doesn't seem like the public has been invited to this discussion about how to best dispose of that historic building that has a lot of sentimental attachment for a lot of people in town. So I would ask that we could potentially set aside the results of the vote on question 51. I have some concerns around the way question 51 was written very narrowly and not really explaining to voters that there are different ways we could go about this. It was an all or nothing. Are we going to authorize an open market sale or not? And again, that we pause, the concern being once the building is sold, it's gone forever. We can't get it back. It doesn't seem that we need to be in a big hurry to resolve this. We want to do what's right. I understand there's some precedent around the A.D. Gray School and about that taking too long and about how that has played out. But, you know, it's the future of the building that's at stake. And I think it would be advisable to bring the public in and, you know, maybe have some meetings specifically about Friendship Street School. If we need to schedule a special election to put this on a ballot to figure out what the town people actually want to do for the building, but that we don't need to rush the judgment here and do something that we might end up regretting. And that's all I have.
Anybody else? Any other citizens' comments? Okay, none. Select board comments, Paul?
I've got a couple. First, I want to say thank you to the DPW for doing such a great job trimming those trees on Dutch Neck. They look really nice. You guys did an amazing job. And I thought we were going to have some discussion of the Madamic Arts Project in the Waldo, but no?
Nothing, no,
Okay,
She wants to say something again.
No, it's okay.
nothing, no, the board has not,
okay.
no, nothing has been, no, nothing has been done
I
by
had
the board.
a very short conversation with Carrie outside today. She was at the table
Mhm.
talking about the Waldo.
Mhm.
And the idea was brought up about maybe using the Waldo as a venue for displaying.
That would have to go before the board
Your
to-
board.
for a discussion, for the map,
Right.
for a
Okay.
discussion.
Yeah.
Then that has not happened.
Okay, I just think it's a great idea. I
So
hope
it-
the
I mean,
board
that would
talks about
be-
it.
Yeah, that would, it's just premature.
Okay,
It's just premature. That the timing is
okay,
not right for that.
okay, sorry. And I got an article from Freeman Zausner from the Wall Street Journal. And I just thought I should mention the import of that article, and that there's a correlation is now being established between the use of cannabis and violence. And the point of the article was the cannabis now being made available is far more potent than the stuff my generation grew up with. And so it has a stronger impact on the psyche and brains of people who use it. So I just thought I'd point that out because Freeman sent me an article about it and it was a very interesting article. So, and then the last thing is really a question. Julie's not here. And I feel awkward bringing it up, but it does have to do with the Maine Historical Preservation Society and a visit they'd like to make to the Friendship Street School on Thursday, and whether or not anybody from the board would like to be there when they arrive to see the school, or if they should even be allowed to see the school. This is pursuant to the assessment that was submitted.
Oh, by Ron?
Yes,
I don't know. That would, yeah, I think you'd have to check to make sure it was legal since they're, you know, since
The town,
he's not buying it.
yeah, no, and the
Yeah.
town didn't
Yeah.
endorse the
Right,
application.
right. I'd ask Julie. I don't know how that works.
Okay.
So,
Yep, that's it.
Colonel?
The only thing I had was disappointed in the town cleanup numbers that stopped to help out. There were 2 clam diggers and a couple others, and that was it. And it was, excuse me, yeah, last Saturday. And it was early, 7 till 11, but, and there had been some advertising for it, so just tough to get people out. So that's all I have.
I was trying to get you guys to come down and help me clean mine up, and nobody showed up.
I missed that in the
Yeah, I
paper.
seen that,
Can I ask a question? Have the guys by and large fulfilled their cleanup requirements this year?
Either they can buy their time as well. So a lot of guys will buy their time,
Ah,
which helps the program. But
right, I see.
a
Okay,
lot of guys, we average between 100 and 120 of the guys buy their time.
wow.
So about 75 to 80% of the guys buy their time.
I wonder if expanding the advertisement, I didn't see a whole lot, but I've been really busy anyway. 7 o'clock's pretty early, you know? I think it is, particularly on a weekend.
Not on a hot June day though. When it gets hot there.
It does?
It's hot, yeah.
The other thing, excuse me, the other thing is, I think when you guys collaborated with the snow crawlers and another group, that worked really well. And, you know, maybe thinking about the snow crawlers or other civic organizations, you know, looking at the cleanup aspect of it, as well as the,
Well, it was predominantly around the shellfish
right,
program anyways, just everyone's piggybacked on it.
yeah,
Well, maybe they've run out of, volunteers in
Yeah.
those groups that
Yeah.
have that time to do that. So,
Well, I know at the first cleanup, the snow crawlers were there.
Yeah.
And there was actually quite a good turnout for the first couple. There was 20 or 30 people, so.
that's good.
but I think things started to get busy for everybody else.
They do. But cleaning up the town is something that everybody should be a part of.
Said back when we started this program 10 plus years ago, I mean, the first couple of years we was taking dump trucks out of the river
Mhm.
along, most of the river and
Yeah.
along the sides of roads. Now it's down to, most of the time, it's 1 truck. Before it was 2 to 3 trucks every time we did a cleanup.
So that's good news.
So it's made a huge
Yeah.
difference. And it's good PR too. People see
Yeah.
picking up trash
Oh,
along
yeah.
the shore, the homeowners along the shore recognizing it. So some of the guys get access by doing that too.
Mhm. It's just a good thing all
Yep.
around for everybody. That's a win-win.
I don't.
Okay, cool. All right. Town manager's over.
Did we go through I just thought Bob was, did
No, the colonel spoke.
he did? Well, I must have been.
About the cleanup.
Oh, the cleanup, right. Oh,
Yeah, Julie's not here, so somebody can make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
I'd make it if Janice had her say. Did
yeah, no, I'm good.
you want?
I'm good.
Okay, yeah, I'll move that we approve the consent calendar.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? New business, the nomination for Legislative Policy Committee. Paul, you've been on that for a number of years.
I haven't been on it, but I've attended the meetings because
Okay,
I'm on the
sorry.
MMA board and we're
Yeah.
allowed to attend those meetings.
Okay.
And they're really interesting. The Legislative Policy Committee has an important role to play in advocating for all of the member municipalities in the MMA. There's like 484 of them. They have a meeting first to set the priorities. They engage with the legislature through their representative. Usually Kate DeFore goes over and talks to them about the ideas that are raised about legislation that's under consideration. They don't discuss every piece of legislation. They pick out those that appear to be most impactful on municipalities. And it's a good group of people. I encourage everybody to take a whack at spending a couple of years on the LPC. And Jim Bennett's the president of the MMA this year. He's written a very good letter describing what they do, describing the process. And if there was someone from this community who wanted to serve, I'd really encourage them to do it. It's not a huge time commitment, maybe 10 hours a month during the busy season. So it runs from fall, there's a couple of meetings, and then the legislature is in session. So while the legislature is in session, it runs through that period of time, at least in the initial stages when the bills are being presented and written up. So January, February, March, maybe into April, and you're usually done. You might have a couple meetings a month that last a couple of hours. So, but it's, you drive up to Augusta and you sit in the MMA building and talk to your colleagues. A lot of them were done by Zoom during the pandemic. They're now mixed, so you can do either or. And there's people from all over the state at these meetings. It's a good mix of people.
So it's just, I can't remember how we handled that. If it's just nominating somebody to.
Yes, yeah, and they have to agree to be nominated, so
Yeah.
And is that a board member?
could be.
Or expand it to whom else?
It could be anybody who is involved in the municipal process. I think he could read more clearly how he defined eligibility on the committee, so I don't screw up here. They bring
Municipal
elected and
officer.
appointed officials.
Yeah,
So
currently as a municipal official.
elected and appointed.
I think we should hold off on this until after, go to our next meeting.
It has to be in by June
Oh.
22nd, so that's
I guess
next
that's
week.
not gonna work.
Yeah, we need to,
Yeah.
if we're gonna nominate someone. we
Are
need
you
to-
interested in continuing doing that?
I can't,
Why?
because I'm on the board. And they slapped my
Oh.
hand,
Oh, you're on the
MMA board.
MMA
yeah,
board,
and so-
and then so you would.
So
okay.
I would attend the meetings and listen, but when I tried to vote, they said I wasn't allowed to do that.
Oh, well, it's worth a try.
It was.
Okay.
Is anybody else interested?
You interested?
To be honest with you.
Um,
It's understandable. It's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
every member of the MMA in Lincoln County is going to be asked to nominate people. So
So I guess we'll just hold off, and see what happens, I guess. All this got a lot on our plate.
I mean, one person that comes to mind is Kelly Burke. She might be interested in doing this, but she's not an elected or appointed
Right,
official.
exactly.
Right,
what I
that's how
just
it has to be. Yeah, I'm
So,
trying to
but
think of
she'd
who
be-
the others
She'd
are.
be really good.
That could be a committee assignment? Would that qualify her as a committee member?
I'd argue that it would.
Okay.
Elected or appointed, could be
She-
like
she's
budget
not on
committee,
any of our
Yeah.
committees, is she?
like any of our budget committee.
Yeah, you're elected to the budget committee.
Oh, yeah.
Nominate him.
But it's the Senate district they're focusing, two people from each Senate district.
Mhm.
I got you.
So we're just one town within that district.
That's
So there are
okay.
others.
We
So
are.
some
There
it doesn't
other
have
town-
to be
are other
Waldeboro.
towns in the district.
so that we'd like it, but it's-
All right, I guess we'll see
gotcha.
who gets nominated, I guess.
Okay.
All right, now, move on. Code violations, so I would assume Stan Hall, Stan Waltz, front center.
So you want to take it out of order and go to old business first? Go back to the other two.
We can do whatever you want. Is that okay with us, the board?
Well, Aaron's here, the other two
Yeah.
people. I'm not here.
Yeah,
Okay.
makes
Okay.
sense.
Yep, sure. Come right up, Stan.
Pass these around. So let's just take this one. So, awesome. I went up today and took this some pictures there. I don't know if he's gonna pass them around where it's been, Aaron's cleaned everything up.
Nice and neat now.
Yes, they called me on the way over.
Oh, it takes out there though.
Those are the pictures, and it is clean.
I saw it today.
Looks good.
Oh,
I don't know what else you have for me, but
I think we still have the fine looming around. Was that still on the table, I believe?
Yes. End of the pictures I gave you was a timeline.
Oh, I didn't get the.
No, there was no timeline. Yeah.
We have a timeline on the other one, but not on this one.
Is there one in that,
Ah,
in there?
The back page, maybe, the very last page.
yes, there is one here.
Also those there.
So in December, in November, you had decided you was gonna set a fine, and you said, no, you wait for him to clean it up.
You know, Mr. Chairman,
Okay, is that what happened?
Just clean it up, so I don't.
the fine was $2,400 and a daily fine of $100 starting November 24th.
What's
I would move we waive the fine. I mean, this guy's done an amazing job. He's
second.
been very pleasant to deal with. I like his sense of humor.
There's a second. Is there any more discussion on this? Aaron, I just want to thank you for getting onto that.
I was gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
Just happened.
Just
A little nudge helps sometimes.
Yeah.
all right. No more discussions? All
Did we need to vote on that? Wait.
all those in favor for no fine, waive the fine? You're all set?
All right, thanks.
All right.
Yeah.
You probably don't want to see Stan again, do you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll see him again. I got another issue down there. He'll be down.
All right, back to your other code violation.
Oh, I'm Dawn. I am here. I was voting. So in case you did attendance and didn't think I was here, I am.
I'm sorry, I didn't know who you were.
No, that's okay.
Yes, so the next one is Kevin C. Carter. You can take, because he's not here, I don't believe. But Dawn Campbell is. I don't know if you have the last letter that I sent to her.
We have one dated May 26th.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
So I guess the reason she's here is,
So you want to do that, do her while she's here?
it's not the lot where the house is, she owns two lots. So it's the other lot that has automobiles and say junk snowmobiles maybe or something there.
They're being refurbished. I'm going through a divorce and I was only allowed to remove so much items from my property. I just finally got in writing that my ex wants nothing to do with the property and I can do whatever I want. So now I can overhaul and clean it. I've already brought a dumpster and did one part of the yard. And I've gotten rid of 3 vehicles and I'm waiting for them to come pick up some more. And continue, and we were working on it. Well, my son was working on it with his friends today.
And I haven't been back out there since I sent the
So
letter.
just give us an update then.
Yeah, now that I got free and I can go to town, I plan on going to town because believe me, it drives me insane.
Yep.
So,
Okay, cool.
And I thought there was a neighbor that was complaining and she was gonna be here tonight. And she was gonna take time off from work, but I guess she is not coming. So-
and I can verify in the latest letter, there was concern about fluid leaking into the water and stuff. I can swear that that has never happened. We are extremely careful. I mean, I'd be risking my own well. So I'm not gonna, the person I have I can't, obviously don't know who's complaining, but I do have one neighbor that has blasted my family on Facebook and everything else, and it's just an ongoing battle.
Yeah, she didn't leave her name, but anyway.
Okay, so you'll give us an update.
I will, yeah, in 2 weeks, I'll go up,
Okay.
talk with her, and then I'll go up in a couple weeks and I'll tell you where it is from where it was.
And in that circumstance, if you wasn't allowed to touch the stuff. or
Yeah,
remove
I
it,
couldn't, I mean, I got rid of what I could. I took and had 3 vehicles hauled off and now I have it in writing that I can do what I want. I can go to town and get it even more.
Board got anything?
Do you have a date when you think you'll have it all completely?
There was a lot left. I'm trying to get a hold, if you guys happen to know of anybody that wants to pick up free scrap metal, let me know because they can have all they want. And I'm also with my fire pit burning the wood crap that I can and doing hauls to the dump. I don't want to get another dumpster because whereas a lot of it is scrap metal and stuff, it would just throw the weight a lot in the
Put that out on
dumpster.
Facebook, if somebody's
Yeah,
scrap metal, they come get it.
Now that I have, like I said, now that I have free range to do what I want.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Who's the guy up on 17?
Yeah, Jackson's.
Yeah, he takes scrap metal and he picks it up too.
Yeah, because they can keep the money they get for it. I just want it off my property now.
Mhm.
I can do it.
I might even have his phone number.
I will take it if you have it.
If I'm lucky. Kim Jackson Salvage.
Yeah.
Get it?
Yeah.
Mobile number, 207-975-1408.
Perfect, thank you. So yes, I will be getting my yard cleaned up, like I said. My son and his friends came over today because school for seniors is out and they've started working on it. And I'm just waiting for somebody to be able to come haul the camper that's on the top lot, the extra lot. But it has the truck engine in front, so it's a little trickier to haul off. So,
Let me give you another number too,
okay,
just so you've got it. 207,
for the same person,
now it's Tim,
okay.
975-2817. I think there's a Melissa too.
Look at the
You in the scrap
advertising
metal
you're
business
giving
now,
them.
Bob?
Wow.
Sorry?
You know, scrap metal business now?
No, sir, but I was.
Oh, you might be, you know.
Had a lot of
When they get-
drums to get rid of.
Oh, that's true. I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Good.
Good, you're all set?
All right, perfect, thank you.
Stan, next on the list.
Next is Kevin Seacott Trucking.
Yep.
Next. Today. Give you these pictures. So the first picture is parking lot. Second picture is building he's put in behind the trucks, as you can see. And the third picture is the trash that's down over the backside of the bank. So there's a
Is it styrofoam or is it?
yeah, styrofoam and plastic, basically. And there's some stuff that's blown off in that pile that's into the woods on neighbor's property, so. Basically, so did you get this from Max, this 2-page
We have that.
of notes? Yeah,
Okay.
Did not get anything from that. Oh, this was, yeah, I guess this was in our packet, yes.
okay. Basically, what it's come down to, he has to pay a fine set by you before, this is from the town manager, I back up a little. So Kevin now has changed from trucking terminal and he wants to do a parking lot, just a place to park his trucks. So there's some stipulations that go with that. Can't idle in the night as a neighbor that's upset because of the noise and the smoke and from the diesel and all that comes into the house. But first he has to pay the fine set by selectmen. It's been going on for 2 years and just some issues. He hasn't paid the fire department bill from when his truck went in the ditch and the fire department stayed here overnight, I believe. Paul Smeltzer wrote an email to you today. So,
Late this afternoon.
Sure.
I was gonna say, I didn't see it before.
that's,
Put it in your packet.
Here it is.
Short
when
and
Max
sweet.
asked him about it, he told him it wasn't any of his business. So kind of upset Max. But it's been over 60 days and he hasn't paid that yet. And he needs a state of Maine road entrance permit.
Mhm.
And the state's been trying for 2 years to get him to fill out the application and he still hasn't done it. And he did dig up the parking lot and put in the culvert where the truck went into, because the state was gonna take the whole entrance out. So he's still dealing with that with the state. He has to provide a survey of the lot, because his fill is really close to the property line, and it's supposed to be a 2-to-1 or a 3-to-1 slope, and right now it's almost a 1-to-1. It just drops right straight off on one side. And then pay the fine if it's one set by the selectmen. And then he can apply for, well, actually Chuck Campbell come in today with a plan for a parking lot. So the thing is, if he goes with a parking lot, it doesn't go to the planning board. It goes to Max and myself to approve it. But if we do that, we want some of these stipulations that he has to have done, which we have to anyway, the road opening from the state,
But she still hasn't done it.
which he hasn't done. So he won't get
How come
approval
the
until
DOT
that happens.
hasn't stepped in and done something about it. I mean, they're throwing it in our hands, but they should have been doing it. It's a state road.
Right, so they're gonna do something pretty soon, one way or the other. So we're not gonna approve anything until that happens anyway. So we've given him, Max would say, he's trying to get a survey, but it's gonna take 6 to 7 months. And I had somebody else in here today on the Fintown Road, and they said the same thing, so. All the surveyors are busy, of course, the way the property's selling. So we can do that. But the other issue is, he's, every time we've asked him, it's been going on for 2 years now, and you've seen that timeline. So if you go back and take out the 100 days of when they had started to do a permit application for 4 months last year, then you take that out of the timeline. She's still looking at over a $40,000 fine.
And he owes the fire department for that night $2,973.
Correct. And town manager was going to speak with you, selectmen, to say that for us not to approve any permits until he pays everything up, including his fee for his building permit fee, which he's going to have to pay also.
Does he have any permits for that?
No.
None, zero.
He hasn't applied for any.
Yeah, and
We've been
but
trying
he
to
went
get him
ahead
to.
and
So I
built
don't
it.
understand why DOT hasn't stepped in and done something, but they're throwing it now last. It's state road.
He's had a stop work order for a year and a half now, or more. And he just keeps on hauling in more material and doing what he wants, because
Who is the governing body that takes care of that sort of thing?
as far as the landfill and stuff, I call it landfill, it's putting gravel, but it would come to me, and I've already sent him a stop work order.
Mhm.
After that, if the selectmen pushed it, it would go to court. Unless he would come in and pay everything up and get his road opening permit and his permits, then he would. Okay. So we either got to go to court or fine him or something.
If we took him to court, then one, he'd be liable for our legal fees.
Yes.
And we haven't consulted an attorney up to this point.
Not to the point where no,
And is our ordinance pretty clear?
yes.
We've got legs to stand on here.
Well, I know for one thing, I won't back down from the $2,973 that he owes
Oh,
the
no,
fire department.
that's-
No way.
that has to
I'm
be
gonna go
paid.
with your recommendation on what you want to do about the fine and send it to him.
Mhm.
Well, he's not listening. So you could easily, it's $100 a day, 40,000, you could even, if you told him half of that.
We're going on your recommendation, Stan. I mean, well, we've had to deal with it. And like I said, it's being thrown in our laps to deal with, so
I'd say
DOT doesn't seem to want to step up, so.
go with whatever you recommend. I mean, if you say 40,000, I'd recommend it. And then you gotta go to court.
What's the board's pleasure?
I'd take him to court and go for $40,000.
Plus
Get a
the
judgment,
20 plus
get a
the-
judgment again.
29,
Yeah,
37 from
Yeah.
the EMS for sitting there.
yeah, enough is enough.
I mean,
And any-
He's just thumbing his
Any
nose at us.
permits, right? They cost money, some of the permits
Right.
have
So you have to
fees,
Pay the permits.
and those should be added in.
And
Gee, that's just amazing that.
Chuck brought in a plan today,
Mhm.
and he told him that he had to come here and sign the application to go to the planning board or for the
Mhm.
parking lot. And he hasn't come in even to sign those, so. So we can write him a letter tomorrow. I'll call
Yeah,
Chapter.
well, would somebody like to make that motion?
Maybe we can
We
sell
send
a
him a-
truck.
The fine of $40,000 plus the $29.73 for the fire department.
And the,
Plus fees.
And the
have
court.
to take him to court. Yes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any more discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Well, that's what Giovanni can say.
So tomorrow I'll talk with Julie. Yep. Call the attorney and then we'll let him know and see what he says.
It's your stuff.
So
All right. Notice of sale of tax acquired property. I didn't know this until today. Somebody called me and asked me about it. But I guess there was a notice sent out on June 7th. Newspaper. There's 8 items on the list of properties that people have not paid the taxes on. I guess the end of bidding is, I believe it said June 23rd. So. Yep, Thursday, June 23rd. Let's see now, what's the bidding will be accepted over
Says
2
we'll
PM on the 23rd, which should be publicly open.
It says we'll consider them on the 28th at our 28th meeting.
Yep, there we go. All right, just everybody heads up,
Mhm.
that was on the list. So. Does anybody else got anything to say about that or anything? Have you guys seen the list at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right here.
Just double check it. Yep, an old business, Aaron has already taken care of his issue. Items for the next agenda.
Wow.
We're gonna look at the EMS, draft EMS agreement with Friendship. I thought we were gonna look at it. It was on the agenda for tonight. I'm guessing
Was
Julie,
it?
just with the
Oh.
election and everything, hasn't been able to get to it.
I didn't see it on this agenda. that I-
No, it was, we had said it would be,
Oh,
but we
The
didn't
last
get it on
time,
there.
so just put it on
Probably-
next.
That'll be on the next agenda.
Okay,
We gotta have election of officers. Next agenda.
yep.
For the select board. Tax, what is it called?
Assessors.
Assessors. Board, you can have election of officers for that as well. Does anybody else get anything for the next agenda?
What's the date? 28?
28th.
28.
Yep.
We could give maybe an update on where we are with the 250th celebration, just to
Good.
update and
Yes.
get some of the word out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Do we want to go through priorities at some point again with Julie? I know we
I'd
have them in
probably
our
wait.
head.
Oh,
but
yeah, I'd probably wait till
Yeah.
July or something like that.
You want to wait until July? Okay.
Do it Maybe the first week in July. or something like that.
Yep.
Cool. Just gonna remember to do it, that's all.
Yep.
Does anybody else get anything? Well, I guess the next one on the agenda is to move into executive session.
Make that motion. pursuant to 1 MRSA 4056 to discuss Philbrook Fund matters.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? No, should be. All those in favor?
Do you guys expect any action after this?
I don't think so. Don't think so. Thank you.
Don't we?
Anybody know which button to push?
Oh,
Oh.
boy.
Do we take action after Philbrook? Yeah, I thought,
Oh, I guess.
but I don't know if it's anything you're interested in, but. No, because we haven't even,
Will
no,
you guys put it back on if you do take action online?
yeah, we,
I'll just